guys, it's Empress, and this is the very first episode of Ask Me, Empress. Alright, so y'all know what time it is. Read this shirt. If you don't, say it with me. Let's get to
It's more
it.
than statements, it's a way of life. So ambitious, the Mr. Jackson talking.
Okay guys, so this is just me talking to you guys over the past months. I've really been able to build up a community on here of virtual friends. We have a good time, and I really enjoy the perspectives that you guys bring. You guys just open my eyes so much, and you guys actually appreciate what I'm doing as well, and you guys have always been welcoming. I just like to say I'm like a girl on a quest. I just find history interesting, particularly like pop culture. And I think this is like the greatest forum for me to be able to kind of discuss and discover all of these things. And one question somebody asked is like, do you like older music because of your parents? I'm going to answer that question, but being like young and liking older stuff, it can be so weird because a lot of your peers, they don't identify with like what you're looking at. You know what I'm saying? Like I could be watching an old movie, like an old classic TCM film, like let's say like Sunset Boulevard or like Mildred Pierce or something, and one of my friends will come in and be like, "You just watching these ghosts, like what are you watching?" So it's so cool to be able to finally have that kind of community where I could just talk about these things with. So some of you guys are interested in my journey with YouTube. So it all started when I was in middle school. YouTube really became like popular, and it was around the time that Justin Bieber got discovered on YouTube. So like for any kid or any adult, right? For anybody who wanted to be discovered, like this was the new like kind of American Idol. And I have a story about that too. So anyway, I basically, just like a lot of people, I got on here, I started like uploading videos like in my bedroom or wherever I could film. They would just be covers, and then I got into kind of like original songs, and it was so cool but so bootleg at the same time, because of course like back then didn't have a studio or anything like that, but you know, you made it do what it do. And so like I was like playing around with like Pro Tools and stuff, learning how to mix, like getting beats from just like different people along the way. So that was pretty cool. But I was smart enough to know kind of like somebody might steal my little fire, so let me not put my fire on here. For a while I kind of stepped away from YouTube, really. I came back this year, actually, kind of like 3 months ago, and I kind of stepped away from it. I never like lost my love for music, but I just didn't have the right headspace to be on YouTube and stuff. So I'm glad I'm back to, you know, talk to you guys and come back. So yeah, so that's how my journey with YouTube began. So it started with me as an aspiring artist, and later now developed to me as kind of like I don't like to call myself reactor, because I think what I do is much more than react. Like that's why I coined, you know, the Madonna journey. I think I really just like to discover and research, and I love music, and I love, you know, old movies and sometimes old TV shows. I just love old stuff. And so I think again what I do is so much more to react. And or one thing that kind of frustrates me now is kind of like people think like, you know, I want you to react to this ridiculous thing, and it's kind of like, well, to me it's much more than shock value. And I think for you guys who follow my page, I think you guys like know that about me and appreciate it. Like I'm not really in this because of views. I'm just in this because like finally I have an outlet to where I could just like talk about stuff that I've always been curious about and learn. I'm like such a music geek, so this is the best time to do it. So yeah, so that's how I got started here on YouTube. So going back to the question, do you like older music because of your parents? So I think my love for older music, or my interest in older music rather, I think it comes from not my parents, because my parents fairly young when they had me, so they listened to like everything that was current. You still do, right? Didn't really listen to like old stuff unless like flipping the station and you know, like this Whitney Houston song comes on or something like that, or like maybe like a Celine Dion song or something like that, but not really like always really staying like with the current. But I do know growing up, my mom always said like New Edition was her favorite group. I would honestly say my love for music, I think it comes from, you guys might find this funny, but I really think it comes from like just being up like to about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, flipping the channels, nothing on, and seeing infomercials, right? Like those Time Life commercials. And it was one that was like really, really cool to me. It was like called like the Queens of Country, and I remember like I asked for the CD. I'm like a little kid, and this is my Christmas list. My mom was like, "What?" And it had this song on there that I like fell in love with. The song was like, "I beg your pardon, I never promised you a rose garden." Like, I just love that song, and like they just played like literally like that part of the song, but I just had to have that CD because I was hearing it every night. So that's where I would say my love for older music come from. But then being like a fan of Michael Jackson, who career like ranges right from decades, born in love with Michael Jackson. And when I say like Michael Jackson fanatic, like literally there was one year I didn't listen to anything but Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson through and through. So again, through Michael Jackson, that's kind of like how I know who certain people are. Like certain people like Elizabeth Taylor, Diana Ross, Liza Minnelli. Because I was like flipping through the history CD book and love Michael like in every way imaginable. And so like he would always, especially Diana Ross, right? He would always speak about Diana Ross. Be like, "I love you, Diana," or something. And then like I like was watching the Jackson 5, the American Dream, the Jacksons movie that he showed all the time on VH1. And there was a part in there where little Michael was like, "Oh, I hope Diana Ross is gonna be there." So little me is like, "Who is this Diana Ross lady?" So that's how interested in you know, I discovered, you know, some songs in her catalog. So, and a major respect for her to the point where I could say she is like my second favorite singer of all time. So it's just kind of like what you guys are seeing now with like this Madonna journey. Pretty much, it's kind of like been my whole life. Like, oh, I like this. I'm interested. Oh. It's just like the dots connecting or something like that. So that explains like me and my old soul, so to speak. Alright, somebody says, curious, do you listen to the tracks before you do a reaction video? The answer to that is no. All of my reactions are 100% genuine. Growing up, before I could even like knew how to write, I was writing songs in my head, right? So I remember like watching my mom sweep and like making up a song about her sweeping with the broom. Like I've just always been very musically inclined, and for anybody out there who like loves music and not only loves music but like creates music, you might understand the struggle. So like growing up, and like this is before I had a phone or anything like that, and I would like just, this is once I learned how to write, right? Like meaning like new letters. So growing up, and shout out to my lefties out there. I am a lefty, so y'all know they say we are like very creative and very smart. So shout out to all my lefties. Hey. But anyway, so once I learned how to write like actual letters in words, I would basically get a little like notebook or composition book, you know, write down my songs. And then the thing is though, I've always just been more than just a lyric writer. So I would actually like come up with like a beat in my head, like you're literally the whole song. And so again, I don't have anything to record this on, so I have to just keep you know, whatever it is I want to sing, I had to keep like the melody and all of that in my head and all of these lyrics, because sometimes again, it's for anybody who knows, like you just get the inspiration and you necessarily can't write down the song at the time you need to. So it's like literally in my head, it's like just thousands of songs or whatever, just that's just there. So I say all that to say, when I listen to music, it's really easy, especially also growing up, like, being in chorus, right? You have to learn songs just like that. Or you've been in like drama club, you have to learn like dialogues just like that. So it's very easy for me to just like really hear something, and I might not get like all the words the first time around, but I can get that melody, especially older music, because unlike rap where it's like words like right, like again, that's that melody, right, that's that cadence, but not necessarily the lyrics. But with older songs, they're slower, so it's so easy to kind of like just like a song that comes to my mind right now is Olivia Newton-John. You guys know I love her, and I remember like the first time I heard this song, the reaction video is on YouTube. I heard this song called Landslide. It's from a physical album, and like the first lines is like, cold winds really blow here at the end of the rainbow. Like, you see, it like the first time I heard that, I could just picture it. One, I just love that line. I think, whoa, cold winds rarely blow here at the end of the rainbow. Ooh. But then again, her delivery is just so slow and so good, especially if it's good. I'm definitely in it like, so it's just so easy for me to remember songs, and especially if I can connect with the song. Like if it hit me in the soul, if it moved me, I can really learn the song really fast. So that's how I can pick up on the song so fast. Alright, let's see. Somebody says, if you could do a duet with any of the artists you have reacted to so far, who would it be? That's a good question. If I could do a duet, so I would say this: any artist who I've ever reacted to, I'm open. Right? Like, I'm open. I would definitely do a duet with them all. And of course, when I say that though, I have to be a time traveler, because I would want to do a duet with them like when they're at their peak. But then on the other end of that stick, I wouldn't want to do a duet with them, right? Because I feel like it might be like an Ariana Mariah type thing. Like, a lot of the artists, especially if I like them, like, you can begin to pick up on like their kind of cadence, their style, and it might sound like, oh, I'm biting them, but it's not really intentional. It's just kind of like osmosis, like you just feel it. I don't know, but really though, instead of like duetting with them, I would honestly love to just spend like an hour with them all and just talk about like their music process, especially if like they're singer-songwriters, like your process of writing music. How do you get there? And I might need more than an hour, right? Just their love for music, like where did it come from? And honestly, instead of doing a duet, I would trade the opportunity to do a duet and actually have an interview. Because it's just so much valuable information. Like somebody like Madonna, like I would just love to like just pick her brain, man, because I haven't even gotten through the whole journey, and she's just so intriguing. She's so interesting. Same thing like Michael Jackson, Prince, Mariah Carey, Dolly Parton, Olivia Newton-John, like Barry Gibb, right? It's just so many people. That I would just love the opportunity to really just pick their brains and understand their processes. So, long story short, I would trade the duet for maybe like a day to hang out and talk, something like that. Alright, and let's see. Also, if you were going to cover any of the Madonna songs you have reacted to so far, which one would it be, and how you put your spin on it? Ooh, fire question. So, songs I reacted to so far, so you guys know I listen to, for those of you guys who've been part of the journey, I listen to the demos, I listen to the whole 1983 album so far. Other songs I've heard is Hung Up, Erotica, Love Don't Live Here Anymore. That was a remake. And I'm missing one. Oh, Vogue. Ooh, fire. And Survival. And I think, and Sooner or Later. Okay, but that wasn't really her song, if I understand that right. So honestly, it'll be erotica. And I would want to remake erotica like all the way, but it's like little parts in the song that like, ooh, they're like, it's just a nice sample, right? So like just a sound bite. And again, it's so weird because ever since, and besides Vogue, I don't know, this really might be my favorite Madonna song because it's just always in my head, like that bass, that dun 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 dun. Alright, and then I like the give it up, do as I say. Give it up and let me have my way. Like that's a cool little sound bite you can use to like just flip it. Like that could be like sampled, flipped into a chorus or something like that. And then that I like to put you in a trance, right? Like that part could be flipped to that all over. And then even just the my name is Dita. Whatever she said at the beginning, like it's just so much. Or like what she said at the end, like the one that hurts you could take away the pain. Only the one that hurts you could take away the pain, and something like it's so many different like little sound bites. So based on what I heard so far, definitely erotica. Like but again, like I said, I wouldn't remake it, but I'll just like chop it up, sample it out. Yeah, that'd be cool. I am a 90s baby, so a lot of the music that I react to was made like way before I was even born. Again, I grew up in the 2000s. I always like to say like I'm a glitter baby, right? That's my like Mariah Carey moment. Like I said, the first memory, I'm reacting to Madonna now, but like the first memory I like for real have Madonna, it's like a little music, but mostly that kiss. And it's just the image of the kiss. Like I don't even remember the performance or none of that, but just the kiss. And then I remember like watching BET and seeing I come home from school and seeing time is waiting, you only got 4 minutes to save the world. So like again, like that's the Madonna that like I'm familiar with. So again, that's why I decided to take this journey, because like I had my thoughts back then, you know. So it's cool to take this journey. I grew up during the age of Britney, Beyonce, Rihanna, kinda, Gaga, kinda, right? Like growing up, I remember like just the pandemonium of like Young Jeezy, Trap 101, like very excited. So I was there for that versus with him and Gucci, again, big thing in Atlanta. So, yep. Are you married or have a boyfriend? So, I am very much in love, and I do have a man. He means the world to me. And one day, hopefully soon, he'll stop being camera shy, and he'll hop on the camera as well. And we could do like maybe like some couple things. He has a great personality as well, so I mean he has to have a great personality to put up with me, right? Also, do you have kids? No, not at the moment. I do not have any kids, but I come from a big family, so I would definitely like at least 2 children. Yep. Alright guys, so the last thing I'm going to cover here is my experience with American Idol. So and again, shout out to Ragnar. He is on this channel as well. Me and him went to all these auditions together. Like he also sings, and so we auditioned for American Idol, The Voice, and what's the one that One Direction got discovered on? X Factor. We auditioned for that too. So my experience with American Idol, like, so interesting. So first of all, like I'm about to hit y'all with like a Sophia from the Golden Girls. Picture it. So it's like a sunny day, boom, like thousands and thousands of people. So we're hyped. We get out the car, we go stand in line, and then like you have to fill out, if I remember correctly, like you have to fill out this form. So we fill out the form, but then it's like you have to have your ID, and so it's like totally like a Fantasia moment, right? So like I didn't have my ID, but it was luckily in the car, so like I had to run back really quick to like the parking lot. Like it was a hot mess, but it was cool. So as we're waiting in line, Ryan Seacrest like basically like walks through to enter the stadium. So I'm just like, I've always been very kind of like an outspoken person. I've never really been like shy, so to speak. So like everybody's like whispering like, oh, that's right. So I just like blurted out like, hey Ryan, and we made eye contact, and he's like, hey. Like that was cool. So anyway, boom, we go in, and guys, I can't even remember like what song I auditioned to, like for the life of me, because I auditioned so much in my life, just for various things. So I can't even remember, but we get in there, and first of all, let me go back. So this is when my first experience learned like, whoa, TV is fake, because like once like the camera crew got there, and once Brian got there, like you had like producers like telling you how to act. They're like, sound enthusiastic, and they like keep shooting like the same shot. They're like, yeah. And I remember like I had my like little poster. I had a poster of myself on there. And it said what I always say, so ambitious, like so ambitious written on it. So that was cool, like my own self-promotion, right? And so anyway, boom, we like, you go outside, and like you're like waiting in line, you know. You can have like water, like something to drink and something to eat, but like because you're literally out there all day, like some people slept outside. We didn't go that far, but the line was deep. So anyway, you like inch by inch, you move into the place, and then get to the stadium seats, and then they start doing it by like the sections within the stadium. So finally, like I make it down to the floor. So this is actually like round one. So when you make it down to the floor, the tent that I was in, ironically, they had two producers versus where some tents had one. So anyway, I seen the first song, and like I said, like I can't remember for the life of me like what the song was, because I'm always singing. So I seen the first song, and they liked me, and like, okay, boom. But one of the producers is kind of like, oh, I don't know. So they're like, okay, we want you to sing the second song. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm giving them, you know, Empress swag, you know. So I'm giving them the best of what I got. And the next thing you know, like some girl in another tent, she starts singing, and she has like the voice of like Jennifer Hudson. So it's loud, okay? It's so loud to the point where she drowned out everybody else who's auditioning, and there ain't no microphones, okay? And the people in the stands, they start clapping, and so you're like, oh man, like what? So after that, like it was still split, but they decided ultimately, like they sent me off on my way, like some Pepsi swag, got like some water bottles and some crap. And of course, you know, you feel like defeated the day, like just driving back home, like neither me or work made it. So it was just like, oh man, this is crazy. So, you know, you feel kind of lame, but eventually you get over it. And like I just realized, it's like after seeing the winners of American Idol, and this take away from nobody's talent, but you know, they, after like certain seasons, they wasn't really looking for like, they, after certain seasons, they were only really checking for country singers, right? And I mean, I can't blame them. As a business, country music at that time particularly was what was selling, so I can't blame them. But you know, whatever, they wasn't ready for Empress, that's all I say. Yeah. So yeah, so that's been my experience. Again, you guys check out this merch. It's on Empress Goodies. Click that link below. Also, I write books for you guys who didn't know, so check out my book series. It's called Ambition Beyond the Streets. And also, God Sent an Angel, one series and one novel. So make sure you guys check that out as well. Again, I think this is fun. You guys get to know me a little better. I think this is fun, so we can do a second round of Ask Empress if you guys are up to it. I love these questions. They were all very, very thoughtful. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And hopefully we can do a second episode of Ask Empress. I will see you guys next time. Bye guys. Hey guys, if you're into reading, be sure to check out my books on Amazon. They're in paperback and ebook formats.